Today is Wednesday, May 13th. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. With the county switch to updating the testing numbers once weekly on Mondays, no longer makes sense for us to report the numbers daily. Rest assured that we will continue to monitor the situation, and should there be any change, we will let you know as soon as possible. For now, the number of tests performed sits at 1,865. Our total remains at 41 laboratory confirmed cases, and there are no confirmed active cases reported at the moment. Visit mynevadacounty.com/coronavirus for the most up-to-date information available. Nevada County has been approved by the state to move further into Stage 2 on the state's resilience roadmap. This means more businesses can begin the process of reopening. Jill Blake, Public Health Director, said, "We are fortunate that we met the criteria to advance through Stage 2 and can now allow for certain businesses to open sooner than they would if they had to move at the pace of the state as a whole. But this should not be viewed as an indication that we are now risk-free. In fact, there is greater responsibility on businesses and customers to work to reduce the risk of disease transmission as we reopen Stage 2 businesses in Nevada County." In a press release, the county made it clear that reopening would not look like business as usual pre-COVID-19 pandemic, and businesses will need to follow the guidance from the state and county in order to protect their employees and customers. They further stated that as we move forward through Stage 2, Nevada County needs to continue practicing social distancing, good hygiene, wearing face coverings in public, minimizing going into public spaces, and educating friends, family, and favorite businesses on the current recommendations. The businesses now allowed to reopen with modifications include destination retail, office workspaces where teleworking is not possible, outdoor museums, and limited personal services such as car washes, dog grooming, and landscaping. In order to reduce the level of risk of spreading COVID-19, each business should implement a COVID-19 prevention plan, which will address implementing risk mitigation practices in their business to create safe environments for workers and customers. State guidance for multiple business sectors, including specific guidance for dine-in restaurants and shopping centers, is available at covid19.ca.gov/roadmap. Nevada County has also released its own guidance documents, which include practical advice for modified business reopenings, which are the committee recommendation for business reopening, a retail store reopening plan and checklist, a restaurant reopening plan and checklist, restaurant customer code of conduct flyers, an employee health and training agreement, and a customer code of conduct flyer for businesses. These documents can be found by going to mynevadacounty.com/coronavirus, clicking the guidance link on the left of the page, then clicking the link labeled for businesses and employers. Yesterday, Bear Yuba Land Trust announced they had formed a new collaborative partnership with Sierra Harvest and Briar Patch Co-op to focus on a new project called Forever Farms. This project's goal is to protect local farmland and provide affordable access to long-term sustainability to the local agricultural community. With this in mind, they announced they have signed a purchase and sale agreement for the acquisition of the farmland that is currently leased to one of the most productive organic farms in the region, Mountain Bounty Farm, located in Nevada City on Birchville Road on the San Juan Ridge. In December 2020, Mountain Bounty's farm land lease on the 37-acre parcel will expire as the landowner has made it clear they will not renew the lease and intend to sell the property, placing our food future under serious threat. Bear Yuba Land Trust intends to buy and hold the land and sign a long-term lease with Mountain Bounty Farm for the farmland and barn. To do so, they are asking for the help of the community. They and their partners have raised 60% of their goal, but they need to raise an additional $250,000 by July 1st. If keeping our food locally controlled and organically produced is important to you, please consider helping this project by sharing on social media and visit their website, bylt.org, to donate if you can. Beale Air Force Base announced that they will be doing another flyover this Friday, May 15th. A Reestown T-38 4-ship formation and 9th Reconnaissance Wing will be performing a formation flyover throughout Northern California in salute to everyone on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19, as well as those staying home to flatten the curve of the virus. Colonel Andy Clark, the installation commander at Beale Air Force Base, said, "Thank you for your support for our NorCal Strong flyovers in the greater Sacramento area over the weekend. This Friday, May 15th, we will cover more of Northern California as we continue our salute to first responders, healthcare professionals, and everyone participating in the fight against COVID-19. The formation will be led by the T-38 instructor pilot, First Lieutenant Kyle Carver, with 3 combat-ready T-38 pilots from the 9th Reconnaissance Wing. First Lieutenant Carver said, "Reestown would like to express our sincerest gratitude to those working on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're honored to be able to continue a show of thanks for more medical professionals and first responders of Northern California." The flyover is scheduled to take off from Beale Air Force Base at noon and pass over a number of medical facilities, starting in Redding, then continuing on to Red Bluff, Chico, Paradise, Nevada City, Placerville, and Auburn before returning to the base. They are scheduled to pass over the Nevada City area around 12:40 p.m. This pandemic has taken its toll on many businesses as well as governments, be they cities, counties, states, or countries. I spoke with John Arona, a reporter for the Union, about his recent story detailing how our county is faring financially and their outlook for the future. So I'm joined once again today by John Arona, a reporter for the Union. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good myself. So you've been working on some stories about the finances of the county and how that's working out during this time. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. So the latest article just came out, and basically it's outlining that the county's finances aren't going to be affected as much as people might have thought, at least. They are doing cuts across the board in each department, or at least attempting to cut between 5 to 10%, across the county. And but aside from that, I think people might have expected a lot more damage to be done, especially considering the state of the cities, Nevada City and Grass Valley, how they're doing. But yeah, basically the article was saying that it's not going to be that bad yet, so at least.
Okay, well that's encouraging at least. And so what about layoffs or any of that kind of thing? I know some of the cities have been talking about some of that. Are we expecting anything at the county level at this point?
Yeah, well, yeah. At this point, they're saying that they're not anticipating any layoffs
Okay.
or freezing positions. They're not filling in open positions, which is kind of a trend that they've been doing. And some workers obviously can't be working right now, and so they're into what's called a disaster worker pool, and they're being used in different ways than their normal operations would be. But as far as layoffs right now, at least that's not what they're looking at.
Okay. And so then what about, I think your article also talked a little bit about the comparison between sort of the last recession and kind of where we're at now, even though I guess we're not quite in a recession yet, but we're looking like we might be sort of working that direction. How is the county situated at this point versus where we were then?
Yeah, so the county is in a better position now. As I said, it's the finances have not really hit them as much. Like you said, it's not. I think the state officially refers to it as a recession right now, but it's not as bad as the Great Recession that people have felt before. So they're doing okay. Their staffing levels have dropped since that time, which is one of the biggest drivers in their expenses. So they've cut their expenses so that they're able to withstand the hit a little bit more. So from that perspective, it's looking at a better position, even though we're kind of early to say.
Gotcha. And so I guess my other question, and you had mentioned it a little bit ago, but what's the difference then between how this is affecting the counties and how this is affecting some of the cities?
Right. Yeah. So that's a good question. The county is not affected as much as the cities because they don't rely as much on sales taxes. So the largest local source of revenue for the county is property taxes, and they're seeing those coming in at pretty much the same rate as they have previously. So they're still being funded for that. Whereas the cities, the sales tax is really the driver of their revenue locally. So if people aren't shopping, then the cities just aren't getting that money. And you know, aside from the local revenue, the state is also in a better situation now than it was during the Great Recession. So that's
Okay.
probably another good indicator of how well we could be doing in the future.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think is important that people know about the current situation?
Well, the other question that I've been getting since the article is like how has the county's services been affected by this,
Okay.
and what is still open? And the county has on their website, mynevadacounty.com/coronaviruses. It lists all the services, which are quite a few. I think 13 departments are still doing online services. So if people want to go, you know, still have business to do with the county, they can do a lot of it online.
Okay. Well, perfect. I think that should about cover it. So thanks for taking the time to join me today, John.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Great work, John. Be sure to read his article at theunion.com for all the figures and details. Look out for more stories to come detailing our city's current financial situations. The Wild and Scenic Film Festival's fan favorites will be showcased in a live virtual event tomorrow evening, Thursday, May 14th. It will feature highlights, award winners, and standouts from this year's flagship festival. These films will be broadcast live online to allow audiences to enjoy them from the comfort of their own home. This is a free event, though donations are welcomed. Visit wildandscenicfilmfestival.org for more information or to get your tickets. We'll leave you this evening with a preview of a couple of the films. Remember, stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you tomorrow.
So I'm holding 3 little bears, triplets. And then at the end, we put them all back in the den. And we'll just head out.
I have this idea in my head of a perfect river, a long, slow river, where you have the time to feel the current under your oars. Go as long as you want, 30, 40, 100 miles. If you're lucky, maybe see some wildlife, sleep on an empty sand beach, wake up to the sound of a noisy beaver. And then to stumble on this place and find that it really exists and that it's here, almost in my own backyard.
California, in the end, is a unique place. We've created a unique water system here. There's nothing like it really anywhere else in the world. And the solutions have to come from us. And a big part of those solutions is ultimately deciding what kind of state we want to have.
When I go work in the forest, I expect to see many different species of living things in this ecosystem. This is a home of more than 4 species of mammals, and the Nyungwe is the home of 299 species of birds.